I feel to have a better time to see you than Emancipation morning, no?
Is what Nelson Mandela always say, I cherish the ideal of a democratic and free society. It's an ideal for which I hope to live and accomplish. But if need be, it's an ideal for which I'm prepared to die. Apartheid in the home like the one that crushed the black man. Africa is home for true. So what they want we do? A brother man, chant the rhythm on the drum, let me get the vibration. We ain't making fun. Oppressor, look your heart to run, run, run. So we have to run the oppressors from the motherland. So we have to run the oppressors from the motherland. So we have to run the oppressors from the motherland. So we have to free up Africa for the children's sake. So we have to free up Africa for the children's sake. So we have to free up Africa for the ancestors.
Welcome to episode, what is this, Zachary boy? 242, you feel? Episode 242 of the Corey Shepherd podcast. Welcome back to everybody who's been listening.
Keep united,
Welcome to the new listeners.
for the jamming, to wipe away the suffering. Can't let it go no longer. Black man got to keep strong, yeah. Look how much people will suffer. Still nobody in care. But black man have no fear. So we have to run the oppressors from the motherland. So we have to run.
It's nice that new faces are wrong, but some of the faces, yeah, these young are so aggressive. If it's one thing, Conrad and them have an aggressive clap here, though. Nice to see the new faces and nice to see some familiar faces. To the familiar faces complain, the familiar faces say, you used to record by yourself and you used to tell everybody issues are going on in the country and we like the interviews, but we want to hear from you. So you're hearing from me, right? Right back in the mix. We're right back in the mix. I would like to take a moment on this Emancipation Day, or whenever you're listening to this, feel emancipated, right? Because it does take long to get to listen to the episode, you know. The interview people, like they're only watching interview now, they want me to study. And the people who watching interview are hearing from me, they're vexed. You can't please everybody, you know. 6 or 1. Yeah, for that's not the other. But I want it to be known that today's episode has this Emancipation in Trinidad and Tobago. The first country in the world to declare Emancipation Day ever. And the Emancipation Day spread from here and it spread to everywhere and it become a global thing, right? This day, I want to take a little bit of a minute or your time. I want to take, the voice of the man who knows talk there, boy. I wonder if they know the voice of the person, because for a long time in coming, I will tell you something. Let me give you some information. Only give me a minute, right? The people who run here a long time. For all the people who now joining this train, right? We've been talking about Kaiso Calypsonians, our local icons, our legends, or whether the little legends in sport and business. We've been talking about them for a long time. We're happy to be able to talk to some of them now. And every now and again, we get the chance to talk about them again, right? The talking about them is an important part too, right? And what I've decided to do, I talked to some of the people who would be following this journey for a long time. And of course, you know, one of the things is the more you record here and the more you get icons to come out and the more you build a team and thing, is the more money this had to spend. You know? And passion and thing is one thing. It's something I will never stop and I will always pursue, especially as I'm able to talk to so many people we're talking to now. Because when you hear about the chances that they have taken and the risk that they take with their own lives or their own careers and the willingness they have to put everything on the line behind something they love, I had to do the same thing. You know what I mean? I love when people comment about how how inspired they are by this one and how inspired they know they talk to. Yeah, it's so great to hear from this person and that person and all that. I think they're all inspiring. I think all of us inspiring. So as I talk to them, I just take a little nugget off from everybody, you know. Pause. I just take a little nugget. But don't feel that does me here soaking in information too to see how to make myself a better person. And one of the things I learned is that you see, when you have something you love, you have to pursue it. And that is my goal now, is my life goal. You know, I've been here for a while and I ain't going nowhere. My life goal, you know what I mean? But the thing about your life goal is you have to fund it. So here what we gonna do now. Here what we gonna do, right? We're gonna do a Patreon and do a monthly subscription for the people who really want to follow up on the episodes that we get to talk about things. And we get to talk loose and just be ourselves, you know what I mean? And get back to what we are accustomed doing. Some of the things that I will do on the Patreon, as I'm accustomed doing, is to get back to the issues of the week, because some of the people who I've spoken to, I'll tell you something, right? The length of time it takes to do research for people like Maxine Williams, it is not no joke amount of time. These people live plenty life. She young, She young, you know what I mean? But plenty life. And I am grossly underprepared. Every time I sit down by the table with somebody, when you sit down with somebody like Junior Lee, I am unprepared completely. It takes a long time because he and all young, but live plenty life. But no matter how much you read and research about people, you see, when that person opposite you on that table die when you find out about the person. And I want to say is, I feel like I be finding out a little. You remember when your grandfather used to say that's all he is really be finding out about the person. I talking to them for 2 hours. So that amount of time, I when I look at the news now, I doesn't know what's going on. I depend on friends sometimes. At that time, I know every article in the papers, you know, to be able to record the next week. No, I doesn't know. So to be able to make the time and dedicate the time to that, I decided to do a Patreon. We go do a little $5 monthly subscription. Zachary tell me it's too expensive. I tell Zachary, these people got money. I said, these people ain't no joke money who listening to this thing, you know what I mean? So I will do that and decide how much of them episodes we could put out. Of course, I will put out some for free. I will not neglect the day ones, you know. I met a gentleman the other day, right? He shall remain unnamed for now. Or maybe by the end of this episode, you go hear about him. But he has been saying for a long time that what gets you here wouldn't get you there. I've seen him say that to many, many people. I've seen him say that to people who I admire what they have achieved and what they have accomplished. But he always makes a point to say, what gets you here wouldn't get you there. And maybe one day I will get a chance to talk to that person, you know what I mean, and have one of these episodes with that guy. But one of the questions that I have for him is, I understand the concept that what gets you here wouldn't get you there. It makes perfect sense, right? In other words, he's saying you had to continue to step up your game. You must continue to improve. I listen to that wholesale. But I always want to ask him, what about who gets you here wouldn't get you there? That's a trickier one, because I've had people who have been dedicated and listening to this thing. When I was talking, I was talking into the void. I feel like if it's me alone talking to a wall, me and my partner Zachary, he used to hold me down all the time sometimes. It's only he in the room telling me what article and what we should talk about and them kind of thing. So I was concerned about, how I'm going to make the original day ones and them pay for thing when, you know what I mean? But we go figure that out, right? We'll work out that together. But getting back to, I'm sorry, if you're new to this, I stray a lot. I stray from the point a lot, you know. But one of the things that I enjoy doing genuinely that I miss, and why I want to come back to this format as often as I can humanly do it, is because we used to sit down here and do dedications, you know what I mean, or live lications to people. Some of them who gone, some of them who here with us, some of them who current and still doing things, some of them who retire and relaxing and them kind of thing. We love to come together and pay respects and show how much we love people. And today on this Emancipation Day, you know who's the fellow we loving on today?
Greetings. This is Karega, the Rapso soldier, saying we need to spread some love. Yes, some love. The tension high, high, high. And the vibes is low, low, low. When the race is stuck, they talk. We must tell them no, no, no. Cause if I for you and you for me, don't let a politician make you no stupid. Look how long we share the love. I say, don't let them chicks says take it away. No matter what they do. they bring bad vibes, you go pelt it way. Cause your team don't get in the play. Solution in the people's hands. Spread your love across the land. No matter what they do, let your love keep shining through. Oh yeah, oh yeah. No matter what they say, spread your love every day. So when they come with it, bring your love and come. When they fight you down, bring your love and come. Stand up and be strong. Bring your love and come. Bring your love, bring your love, bring your love. No matter what they do, let your love keep shining through. No matter what they say, spread your love.
You know, the messages in Rapso, they say Rapso man don't die, they multiply. Let me tell you something, the messages in Rapso is a hell of a thing, you know. Rapso is a genre that we need to study, you know. A part of this journey for me with documenting people. Let me tell you the way I think about it sometime, right? I say, well, all right, you see Kiskidi Caravan? I done a Sister Run. Well, Sister Run says she wasn't part of Kiskidi Caravan. I only pick up that with Sister Run, right? I have a whole episode to put out, a whole clip to put out on the combined Mandela effect of guests, because I think Sister Run was in was in Kiskidi Caravan and she says she wasn't, right? And she wasn't. So Kiskidi Caravan, Sister Run, Ozzy America, Omari Ashby, you know what I mean? So I say, if you think about who else was in Kiskidi Caravan, you could think of some of the names that we could be seeing soon, you know. When it's our band leaders, I say, all right, our David Rudder, our Colin Lucas, our Eddie Charles, our Zan, you can start to think about, okay, who might be some of the other band leaders that we can see coming up next? Because I can tell you, like, there's few things I enjoy more than the reveal of an episode. Just so you know, right, all the music in this episode will be from the great Karega Mandela. Great Karega Mandela, one of the originators, one of the founders. By the time you're listening to this, you would have had a night dedicated to him in Emancipation Village in the Savannah. I hope to make my way there, recording before that happened, right? I hope to make my way there just to show love to him. I saw him and Carol Mandela, salute to Carol as well. I saw them in Kaiso Blues the other night. I went to take in a show, salute to Jaron Rockus Remy, right? Let me talk about some things. I'll get back to the point at some time, right? But salute to Jaron Rockus Remy, who doing a thing in Kaiso Blues that I'm hoping continues to get the kind of support it's getting and that he could continue to do it. I know Freetown is in Canada right now doing some, well, they're on tour, you know what I mean? Left from Trinidad and Tobago. So they are abroad, so it might have paused for a minute, but I know that so far he had Tricanal on a night. It was amazing to see Tricanal. Let me tell you something about Tricanal. When Tricanal started to sing song and had the whole audience singing along with them, it is amazing to see, you know, them have an audience where they have that luck. But Rocker's working on this thing, and he had Johnny King, he had Trinidad Rio one night, he had Valentino one night, and I was there taking in the Tricanal show, and I saw Carol and the great Karega Mandela there, just taking in the show too, you know. I bounced them up the other night by Ray's Bar, to salute to Aussie America, and the galvanized discotheque, you know what I mean? The galvanized man himself, Ozzy. But on a Wednesday night, they bring back that vibe. I'm hoping. I know that what he had the restart for it the other night with Tricanal. Well, actually, the restart was Ozzy Merrick. Roca's show is another show, but we hopefully back by Ray's Bar on a Wednesday night soon. So it's good to see those things coming together, and all the music in this episode is directly from Karega Mandela. But as I was saying, when you see the trend of the guests that come in, you could see or make a guess who next, because the episode reveal is a big thing to me. I say, all right, I don't really like people know who I book. I don't like people to post before they come on. I want to keep the reveal going. And one of those reveals over the last few weeks, which was special to me, was Tika Phillips. Let me start with Tika, right? And this is one of the things, again, I will do with these episodes behind the Patreon, because I always get people asking, okay, well, what kind of person Muhammad really is? Is Lou this and that? People just ask questions about the guests and so on, and I guess the behind the scenes or the stories behind the interviews. Well, you go tell me if it's interesting or not, you know, because one thing too, if they find it boring, we go cut it out and we go do something else, right? But Tika was interesting because if you remember earlier, Carnival time, I had Franca here, right? Salute to Franca Phillips. And Franca, very quickly after we recorded and thing, she say, hey, if you're going down this road of documenting culture and thing, you see Tika, you had to talk to Tika. And Franca ain't called me with a question, and asked me if have somebody who it wasn't like that. She was like, "Hey, you have to talk to Tika, because Franca, I think Franca understood what I was doing." I remember when I first asked Franca to come on, I was a fet, a bounce of Franca, and I was like, "Franca, I say, Franca, you could come because I don't feel like I'm doing justice to some of these topics that I do, and Franca and them have so much experience doing it for a long time and thing." And now I'm nervous because now it's Franca and them know how to conduct interview. And I Marina himself, you know what I mean? So when I'm backing and forth with Franca, I always remember there was a moment with the backing and forth where she was asking me, okay, what are we going to talk about? How are we going to do this? How are we going to structure this? How much time is it going to take? She was basically telling me, hey, that's a lot of topics. That's ambitious for our, but again, then no production. Me, I trying to figure it out as I go along, you know. And I remember just about a day or two before the interview, I messaged Franca about something and she said, Corey, plan your thing, I trust you. I took that to mean something. Yeah, at that moment when she said, don't worry, I trust you. And she came and she did it and stuff. And I learned a lot, just talking to Franca in terms of what a production should look like. Simple little things. Let me tell you something. Any chance you get to be around greatness, just do it. Just soak them in. Just listen to them. When you're around experienced people, just keep quiet. You're going to learn plenty. You don't have to ask them nothing. You learn by how they operate and what they do. Because when I was finished recording with Franca went straight to the screen by Conrad and them here and started to watch through segments of it and say, hey, maybe I could cut this. Maybe I could make sure the camera on you here. Let's do this. There was a part of the episode I forget. It didn't work out well when we recorded the first time, you know? And I wanted to do it after. And Franca explained to me, hey, you could do it now, you know? You sit down here, I go sit down there. She said, I go just sit down here and nod. And I was like, wait, you could do that? I really didn't think that, you know, the whole idea of doing something post-production. Post-production for me meant, up to that point, just put out the episode. It was a great success for me if I put an episode without a lens cap on where you could actually see the person. The people who have suffered for a long time will tell you that they have episodes on YouTube where the whole episode black and all you hear is audio because I forget to take off the lens cap. You know what I mean? I'm not a young man. These things happen. I mean, what am I to do? We figure this out as we go along. And then somebody was like, well, okay, if you don't have video, why didn't just put up a picture of the... I was like, that would be a good idea. I put up the whole thing black like hell. You live and you learn. So in doing that and, you know, being prepared, I always remember in the early days I was talking to Franca just after she was just telling me, hey, do your research, you know, you don't want to be fumbling, you don't want to not know things about people, do your research. And all those are things that I took and, you know, it's just like a building, you know, you take one little block, I say, right, let me see how I could apply that and implement that. So fast forward to my announcement at Tika, feeling good now because I could message Franca and tell her, Franca girl, I get Tika. But let me tell you this. At the time she telling me about getting Tika, I don't know who is Tika, trying to do my research and stuff. I'm going on her Instagram and Mako, you know, I could Mako and I see, you know, what's out there and thing. Again, I talking to Tika and completely blown away. Like, maybe I would try to put my face on camera more often. I try to focus it on the guest, you know. But I was completely blown away by most of the things that Tika was talking about. I spoke about it when we recorded and we spoke about the, if you go back to the episode with Tika, you'll hear me talk about my experience with her going to see the play Poison, right? And it's hard to describe. That's something that you have to see when that time comes when she do it again. I'm trying to put gentle pressure on Tika to do it again. It is something to behold. How intimate it is, how close these people are to you. It is the equivalent of being home by a friend and a domestic violence situation break out. You have to understand the tension that the audience feeling. Tika, it had something Tika saying that thing. She say, when you're dealing with me, there's no escaping when you're dealing with me. But what's the reason now saying it? Listen, when she say that across the table, she mean that. You know, Tika 30 something. I shouldn't put people age out there. Tika young, you know. Them young. So when youths have the culture and the arts in their hand with two hands like that, we have to love this place. All this other talk about Trinidad, a real place. Let me tell you, Tika and them making this place as real as it ever was, and it will continue to be real. Them is the youths, you know. Them is who we doing all the things for. And I want you to picture how tense it would be if you, by two friends, you know what I mean? You're home by somebody. And fight break out or argument break out by them. Two people who you don't know, you don't know how they're living. It might be the first time you're in the living room. That is the feeling you was getting when you went to Poison. Because they tell you you're watching the play, you don't know what to expect. I can have a big thing, all it's saying is poison. And I hear in Dexter Dap something. I thought I going up there to whine on people, you know. I thought this was a fete. I say, well, I'm going to whine low when I go up by Tika, the fete. But here now, when that thing done, I had to come out inside there because I need to escape. I was like, let me come out to these people's place. If all they want to fight now. It is intense. So again, remember Franca teach me about being prepared. So I prepared as I could be. I want to think. I don't know the arts well enough, you know what I mean? I love to my depth, but I'm reading, I'm trying to figure it out. And you're talking to people who know their craft, You can't be guessing. I don't think a guessing game will go well. Let me put it like that, right? These people know their craft and they're busy too. So when they come to sit down with you for 2 hours, it's like, what? 2 hours? What's happening here? So I wanted to ask Tika because I seen where this thing going to be big. This going to be huge. We're going to do this in Queens Hall. I will see Tika in Napa, and then I will see her in Carnegie Hall and stuff like that. Or I will see her in Barclays, or which part is do play over there, Broadway and them kind of place. I will see she in, what do you want name in England? And then the Sydney Opera Theatre down so. I say Tika go and make it big. And then Tika bluntly tell me anything, hey, that's enough for me. I hear, you see that audience where you think you have to stay in my living room. I say, oh Lord, are you going to be uncomfortable for the rest of your life? But again, salute to Tika because she's willing to take on topics that, important for us to discuss as a society. I believe, I like here bad, and to me, Trinidad is always a real place, and it will always continue to be a real place. But we have to become the kind of place that is not. We had to become the kind of place that is not worried about having the conversation. We had to have the conversations. We had to talk about who we are. We's Calypso, and we's Soca, and we's Limbo, and what else they say we is and them kind of thing. We are all those things, but we are also domestic violence. You can't hide your bad side. If you continue to just never talk about your bad side or never bring it out in the open, how we go do things to remedy it or to curb it or to help people who dealing with it? I'm confused by this thing that we have where the best option is to hide it. It's to just pretend like it not happening at all. That could never be. In wherever we want to study, wherever the background is you come from, wherever you study it, go tell you, hey, leaving it in the dark is probably not a great solution to it. So salute to Tika, appreciate Tika for coming through. And I intend to again, because like I say, when I go and play, I just going to go certain type of play, right? I me no thespian, me no one of them people. I know artsy person and them kind of thing, yeah. I tell you, when I go to plays, who get horn and who come back and catch one, who thing, and that's all the places I go to. So take them challenging me to be different and to understand differently and to see things differently through the arts, which I suppose the arts and the interpretation of the arts is how we can have some of those discussions. Some of those discussions, rather than running from them, we could use things like the arts and use people like Tika or work through people like Tika to get it done. So my intention is to get more people from that space. I'm putting it out in the atmosphere that at some point Tika and her business partners, the people who are working on it, and also other people, the little horn stories, I like them too. So I'm hoping to get some people to come here and talk about some of the horn stories. I have some people in mind who have been doing plays for a long time and who are the highest levels that we could get to come here. So I hope the Tika episode is one that all you remember and all you cherish, because some of the things that she said, beyond all the old talk and the thing, right, and the life and where you grew up and the thing, I want you to listen carefully to the way Tika spoke about Belmont and the importance of Belmont and its icons. Listen to the way she called names when she said Tony Hall and Dennis Hall and these. Listen to the way she spoke about the people. So that you start to understand that we can, if we want to be great and we really want a first world, we must define what first world is. And part of first world to us must be that we hold the people who was here before us in high regard. And some of them who gone, we had to make sure that they're never forgotten. And some of them who here, we had to make sure that they celebrated, like this fella here, you know him?
Rapso soldier in your area, come to deliver. My sweet Tobago, I know we have some problems, but you're the strength of our people. I know we can solve them. You have a beautiful land, I say, we can't let it slip away. Put our shoulders to the wheel, Tobago, I love is real. I tell you to hold on and keep the faith. I tell you to hold on and keep the faith. What we say, I tell you to children. I know we just can't disappoint them. So let we build the nation with discipline, tolerance, and production. We must love all the youths, build them with strength and truth. Let them know they are queens and kings, and they go spread their wings. I tell you to hold on and keep the faith. What to do, I tell you to hold on and keep the faith. Jah say hold on and keep the faith. I tell you to hold on and keep the faith. Ay, ay, ay.
Oi.
Oh, yo, yo.
Oi.
Ay, ay, ay.
Oi.
Oh, yo, yo.
Oh, Lord.
Ay, ay, ay.
Oi. Oh, yo, yo.
Oh, oh, yo, yo.
You know, we know better than to cut off solo that's sweet like that. So the great Karega Mandela, we here to celebrate people while they're here, man. Celebrate people all the time. Let me put it that way because people always here. So celebrate them all the time. You understand? All the time. We legends and we icons, you know what I mean? We great. So why we wouldn't celebrate them? What else we here for? So what episode I want to say here about background? Let me tell you something about Maxine Williams, right? Let me two episodes I want to talk about here, but Maxine in particular. Let me tell you where that start, right? That just start with like what I've been doing for the longest while. Like if I see somebody interested in a thing, a kind of message, and I hope for the best. I want to tell you that 9 out of 10 times I'm echoing in people inbox, as I always say, people ain't even taking me on them and me to study, which is cool. Because I mean, whether you could come here or not, the love is there, and we're here to celebrate people. You know, what I mean, not to celebrate people. Now we're here to celebrate ourselves. You understand where I'm coming from? So, I sat and did an episode with a guy by the name of Lou Lyons. Will you remember Lou Lyons? Somebody who I was talking to about or listening to for a long time with Full Disclosure Radio and now, you know what I mean, the behind or for the record and so on, right? And I say, boy, you know, as a man who podcasting to and a man who in music and a man who's play guitar at a level that I can't understand what you're doing, I say, it would be nice to talk to you, you know. I want to tell you that some of these conversations, planning since I first ever record Maxine in the year. What year was that exactly? 2020, 2021, when COVID in full swing is when I start. And I say, boy, you see, I want to talk to he. Me, I care if we record it. I don't care if we put it out as an episode. I just want to see him and talk to him because that fella have a wealth of knowledge that is enviable. The way he's talk about topics. He's the kind of person you're sitting down with who you could throw out anything. Whatever you want to talk about, you could talk about with Lou, right? And that's how he is. And then I bounce him up. I give you the whole backstory of how it come up, right? I must message him or something on Facebook or whatever, and he answer. And I bounce him up. I think I had done a little thing with the Quattro with Free Tongue and Take Me Home. And I see the share it and say, don't share my thing now, you know. Don't share my thing, don't like my thing, don't do none of them things. Because when you're sharing and you're liking, I'm watching all who I want to talk to. And as I see you like something I do, I say, hi, my name is Corey Shapa. I would like to have you as I guess. What's the worst could happen? I learned that recently, you know. So when I think Lou, I end up bouncing up Lou Juve morning. I play with Strive Juve. Me and Stacy play with Juve and say, I see Lou in the, you know what I mean, on Cipriani Boulevard, random. No, you have to remember, I just full bar the men and them song, eh? I try to sing Muhammad part, which nobody should ever try to do in life. And I try to play guitar like Lou, which, I mean, you try it if you want. I say, oh God, you know, so I've been nervous now about seeing people in real because me don't know how people feel about the reaction to the thing. And I also have I'm from a long time, you know, I'm from the 80s. You know. I doesn't realize that if somebody see you on camera, when they see you in person, they know who he is. How stupid that song. It's feel like if I know you on social media, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to come and talk to you on when I see you in the street. So I wasn't be sure, you know. And he's a man is look real serious, right? You don't understand what I going through in life, right? Like he's look very serious and very dread. He have a way looking on the shades and the thing, and he hat. He's look very dread. So when I see him, I was like, oh, shit. I said, what? I started getting nervous immediately. I said, oh God, that man see me now. And that man smiled. There's something I'll never forget. That man smiled and watched me like that. I said, boy, here nothing. I say, I hope I didn't do too bad. He say, you do good. And you know, his words. Let me tell you something about Lou Lion and the way that man is talk, right? Well, of course, you know, when I know the episode, you know, where it come from. He studied journalism. He studied law. And then he studied the music in his own way. So and then coming through poetry and them kind of thing. Them men just use words in a kind of way. They are precise. Let me put it like that, right? He is precise. It never had a point in the episode where he looked like he getting flustered or he getting loud or he getting bored. He's extremely tuned into what you're saying, which is very intimidating. I want people to understand that when you say no across from me, it is intimidating sometimes. The men watching you down in your brain. So while you watch something, right? Watch all the episodes, right? Plenty people is sitting down with a chair facing me direct, and I just have to turn my chair to the side so because me can't deal with all eye contact. This is a lot. Sometimes I can't believe I talking to the person I talking to. So he's one of them, and when he talk about things, he's talking about it with a level of authority and a level of clarity and depth that is unmistakable. And I just happened to be went on my honeymoon. I get married a long time, several years ago. I ain't gonna call no number, no, but we never went on a honeymoon, so we went on a honeymoon in Jamaica that weekend when I released that Lou episode. So let me tell you how that go before I come back to Maxine. I have everything set to go on the honeymoon, and I know that after, if you get married in 20, whatever year the year was, 2022, one of them years, right? If you get married in one of them years, and then you ain't have a honeymoon, and then 2025, people tell you, hey, honeymoon, and you're going and you do the honeymoon, right? It would be wise for you to not work when you go on the honeymoon. Because all the thing we thinking and the mission and purpose and passion and all them kind of thing. You see, Lou says something in that episode. He said the wives of entertainers have such an important role to play. That stood out to me in that episode because the wives of podcasters, when you're going home and there's only podcast, there's a Calypsonian. He sang a song named The Letter, you know? He say, bring a letter from your last woman, with she signature, stating why we done. You know that song? If you tell me sing it again, if you tell me we get a free subscription to the Patreon, a week worth of subscription, and if it's $5 a month, a week worth of subscription might be $1.75 or thereabout, right? If you tell me we sing it. But he also have a song saying, let me see if I can sing because I really put his quatrain here, nothing to sing it. Calypso, Calypso. And the other line he say, you better use the hole in your guitar when you are wife. A fella, if you tell me who sing it, I'll give you a week worth of free subscription, right? $1.25. Oh, the $5 is US too, right? So that's $1.50 worth of US dollars. It's hard to get, you know what I mean? But the man say his wife telling him all she hearing every night is a chung chung inside my head, you know? Because he love the calypso and he going with the passion, but the song was about his wife basically telling him, he saying, when you're a wife, use the hole in your guitar. Good advice. So I went to Jamaica on my honeymoon with this advice in mind. I said, boy, better you don't have no work to do. So Hello Lions to release the thing. I went and I organized. I said, right, let me think the episode. I schedule that. I do everything in advance. Because half the time, Monday night, it's a Sunday night, I try to scramble to make sure episode come out Monday. So I go on Jamaica now. Of course, I ain't finish everything I had to do because the clips is take long to cut. So boy, you know, we going up anything, places nice. We in Jamaica, we fly into Kingston, everything running smoother. I went to Hellshire, I eat some fish, and how long I ain't go Hellshire, you know what I mean? I meet a man by the name of Andrew Riley, one of the greatest Uber drivers that have he drive. We from Kingston to Ocho Rios. We went Hellshire first, we stop all about, listen, nice guys. So I'm feeling good in Jamaica honeymoon, you know what I mean? Boxes checked off, you know what I mean? One less thing I have to hear about when I'm thinking, honeymoon, I don't hear about that again. We checking off boxes, right? So I go on in the honeymoon and we do what you're supposed to do. So people tap out, you know what I mean? You know what I mean like me. A boy like me. So here now, between the food, the liquor, the tap out, I say, here we're going on. People drop asleep. I say, don't sleep on me, you know, because I pull out my laptop easy now and I'm trying to cut up this Lou Lions thing, right? I say, right, let me put out a clip now. If you see me typing easy, I don't want to make a noise because if she wake up there, is the hole in my guitar and quattro hole smaller than guitar hole and I might make it. So I say, boy, let me do this thing easy. And I cut up a clip with what I thought was Lou Lions trying to say that Vibes Cartel disappoints his audience in Trinidad and Tobago, and he might have been able to see it differently because music is a spiritual exchange. And I'm not thinking that, boy, listen, by the time I think, and of course now, I would typically put out a thing, check it, see how it's going good, watch the numbers, you know what I mean? Try to figure out how to do what clip to put next. And if for the few times before that I had any issue with the type of responses that I get in, well, I feel bad now. Remember me and these people, a lot of them I just meeting for the first time. It's not like friends where I could just call and say, hey, what going on, boy? You see this thing? I don't have a relationship. So I was just checking with people if it going too wild to say, hey, I do bad here, how I do with this clip, because I could pull it down and it don't matter to me. What we have done good, the idea behind the clip, of course, is to get people to take in the full episode, right? Because the fullness of what somebody like Lou Lion speaks about is what you have to take in. He's not somebody that you can listen to in sound bites or bits. So I want you to understand how long it taken me to cut this clip and how quiet I had to be because the bed right in. If I make a noise and she wake up, it's all hell break loose, you know what I mean? All that Lou Lions talk, that's the end of that thing. That whole thing could go flying off the balcony of a all-inclusive hotel. So I get it done. I put it out. And of course, I had to play. I ease back in the bed now. I gone back like if I was sleeping. And as I done put it on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and thing already, and I put back my phone one side, I put back the laptop easy, and I gone back in the bed, I pull the cover and I cover underneath. And then check me now. I say, girl, you know, it's lunchtime, do you want to go in the buffet? I say, so let me go downstairs, I need something like here. I say, poolside, let me go. Boy, she wake up, we go downstairs. Me is studying phone. Me is studying. Like, I not studying. And I's a man obsessive with them thing. But this time, I can't do it. So we go down with thing, we bathe, we drink a copious amount of Appleton rum. Inhumane amount of Appleton rum was consumed. And then I reach back upstairs now and see this thing going wild with people in comments about Trinidad and thing, and who's this man and who's this No, I feeling bad. I feeling away. I said, Jesus Christ, this man good thing. I never wanted to cut clips. When I first started this, I'll salute to my boy Cassius. Cassius, all the clips that you would have seen from this podcast when it was me recording by myself, all of them is Cassius used to cut them. Cassius say, boy, people need to see this podcast. Cut the clip and put. Cassius used to screen grab it himself and post it and call me. And then call me and say, Corey, put the link to YouTube in your bio. Let me tell you something. I'm mission driven, you know, so sometimes I just miss all the other things. So salute to Cassius for that. But I don't like to cut clips for this very reason. People misinterpret this, hear what they want to hear. I listen back to it and I say, but this man is pretty clear on what he was trying to say. I was like, none of this is what the man was trying to say at all. Boy, that turned into island wars. Where Jamaicans say Trinidadian ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, and the bad man ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, and then Trinidadians had to come back and say, we are oil and ta-ta-ta-ta. You know, Trinidadians, like, I don't know why the response to anything is that we have oil and we have money and all that. Well, number one, because we don't have oil, right? So that them days done. Yeah? But we like that kind of talk. And I feel now it's a message rule now. I say, keep in mind that sometimes I record them episode 2-3 weeks before me and talk to the man in a while, you know. So I know message and I was like, hey, what's going on here? We create what we do. We mash up Karifta here. Is a 1 from 10 leaves north. What did I do? And he was cool. This is the other thing you have to understand, right? While I am new to the ideas, the social media and the backlash, these men are accustomed to that. He was not. He's like, boy, people say whatever they want to say. He's like, so I just making sure me and do nothing wrong or do nothing bad. I will admit that it's something that when I look back at it, it's like, you know, I could have been a little more generous with the clip so that it get the fullness of what he said. But, you know, the pressure that the ChatGPT and the people of this world is put to make the clip a minute, and you're trying to cut it down. And because I hear the fullness of what was said dozens of times while editing it. And sometimes when you edit it, you might edit out a part. Like there's a part I edit out of that. I don't have much regrets, but there's a part where he said, Trinidad and Tobago have a sibling, and Jamaica have a sibling rivalry, which we've refused to discuss. And he said, and in both cases, we're right, and in both cases, we're wrong. Like, if I could go back in time, I wish I had left that part in. Maybe that would have quelled some of the things. But I'm also learning that, boy, you can't do nothing. Because how the hell you could expect? You cannot predict them things. So that went how it went, and all the other clips went well. I think it's one of the better episodes I have there. Just talking to him is be an honor and a pleasure, you know what I mean? Salute to Luke. So what the hell all of that had to do with Maxine? What the hell that had to do with Maxine? While I back in Trinidad now, and let me tell you how bad the pressure is. When you see the same Andrew Riley, I tell you the Uber driver, when he come to pick me back up in the hotel in Kingston, in Ocho Rios to bring me back to the airport, when we reach a brand new highway and thing, he say, by chance, you have a YouTube channel? He don't see it already. So I was like, Jesus Christ, this is not the intention. I am a bridge, I am a facilitator, I am a peacemaker as far as I concern. Look war. So I'm feeling that way. But he was cool. I don't think anybody face-to-face is a different thing to online and learning, you know what I mean? But by the time I land back in Trinidad, now I have a next message from Lou. I wonder if I could read it, but it ain't good to read the kind of thing people send you, you know, but it was so kind of him to send that. That I don't tell you. He say, Corey Banton, you're safe in the streets, how you coping? The man making sure. I tell him I was in Jamaica too when it happened. I say, yeah, safe. So I was relieved that he ain't feeling that way because, again, when I cut in his clip, he is not an easy person. I'll say that it is one of the more difficult episodes I had where cutting a clip is concerned. And it is also one of the more, it was almost like doing it, not putting myself in his class, but that's why I don't cut clips about myself very often, because when we're talking about complicated issues, you cannot bring them down to a minute. You have to talk about them in the fullness, which he does. So when you had to cut out something, he said you're done in trouble already. But I appreciated that he was cool and that went well. So what the hell I had to do with Maxine? When I come back here now and we're watching, you know, I mean, how the episode going, and, you know, I have an episode to put out next week. I had to decide what we're putting out, what other clips to post. I know the selfish clips I want to post is about Light Man and everything. That is what I really want to post. But in the midst of the thing, I used to see, you only check the likes on thing on Lou Lyons episode. Ting like Maxine Williams. I say, excuse? I say, excuse? What? I go on immediately. I was like, hi, Maxine, my name is Corey. I'd love to have you as a guest. You know, I have a little spiel and done thing, yeah? And I say, boy, in my mind, that not happening. The answer is no, because again, you're learning that you're always remembered by the recent work. I suppose you're only as good as the last innings, right? Unless it's West Indies and you make 26 runs out of all of them, you know what I mean? I used to have a coach in school, he used to tell me, don't come back unless I make 25, you know, in under 14 cricket, you know, them men make 26 or 27 runs. Them men make play with numbers. You could play a mark, which played on the day too. You had to love it, huh? But when you look at the episodes that were done before, it may seem as though, all right, this fella archiving Calypso, you know, this fella there. But, you know, I want to talk to us. I almost want to talk to all of us. Somebody told me the other day, boy, you have all these icons coming in the show, you're going to run out of icon. I say, how is 1.5 million a week? There's only one up point out a week, me living for 1.5 million weeks. So, when I see Maxine, like, I say, what? I say, hey, if you're ever in Trinidad, boy, she respond. I never seen nothing like that. Me expecting a response, you know. Me expecting no response. And she kindly say, hey, me sing up, no. Me sing up. Which again, you see, the impression is there that, hey, this is what it is. But it's like, no, but the story. And she says she will do it. And it just so happened that she was in Trinidad soon after and we get our episode done. It is. So I now in preparation mode and trying to organize everything. Again, I want to say this, right? You look at people's lives, you try to look at their work, you try to read things they put out there, watch, you know, if you have any kind of interviews before, any podcast you do, or any TEDx things and them kind of thing, I try to watch as much of that and absorb, okay, this is who you are, this is what you believe in, this is what, and then I'm structuring, kind of structuring how I want to do this and how I want to go about it and where I want to start, where I want to end, how we go. Let me tell you something. Grossly underprepared. I started to realize that I had to just get comfortable with that. Because, well, first, I was a little overwhelmed by the fact that she said yes and we actually doing it and now we meet. And keep in mind, sometimes you're meeting these people for the first time and they walk in the room and I was a groupie, you know, so I was a fan of people. So I had to calm my nerves now and settle down and realize, okay, Corey, all right, you have to do this thing. You have to land the plane. We're here now. We have to do this, you know what I mean? We're here. So when, you know, I have a way of structuring it and I feel I know where it's gonna go. And I always, maybe I overthink things. I anticipate, okay, how this will go. And she answered this, I go say that. And I'm like, listen, that thing went out the door within the first few minutes of where it is went on. First couple minutes of where it is we talking. Before we started record, my whole plan get fubar immediately. Because some things that she say, and I hope she didn't mind us sharing somebody behind the scenes, but it blow my mind because she asked me, well, what made you reach out to me? And I was like, use Maxine Williams. What do you mean what made me reach out to you? I was always going to reach out to you. What do you mean? She said, no, but what made you reach out then? I said, well, I was watching the thing for Lou. When I pick up my phone, I see Maxine Williams. Like, let me tell you something. I just screenshot them thing, and keep a folder of them thing. Because some of it, I doesn't believe it. It's be surreal to me. You don't understand how I watching some of these people, and I watch these people as the greats, you know? So I screenshot it. I say, well, I see you like it. So that means you know what it is. So that is one step gone. At least you know what it is. You know what I mean? And she said, well, it's funny because I was listening to Lou Lyons' episode and, you know, I enjoyed it a lot. And when I finished listening to the episode and I check it, I saw a message from you. She said, so we manifested that. Well, yeah, that blew my mind immediately. Me know what to say now. I forget all my question. I forget the whole blasted thing I had planned out. I had things structured well, you know. Everything went out the door forthwith. You know, and she said in that interview that Peter Minshall came to see me in Vagina Monologues, and after that, he sent me a message and he said some very charitable things. That is exactly how I felt at that table with some of the things that Maxine said to me. And I don't know how to, I want to say, but Maxine, I get emotional. We have to record this thing, you know, because I still have to function here. This is a lot to absorb. I appreciated all the words, but it was a lot to hear. And then when we started talking now, well, you check the comments and what people have to say. Maxine is she's a powerhouse, right? She didn't like them kind of words. No, she's a powerhouse, an icon, a legend, right? And she talks about these things so casually in her non-convent accent, you know what I mean? She's just talking through these things. And I was like, I so captivated. If you know a little bit about me and academics, the Yale story and the Oxford story is so captivating to me. Like, I trying to understand, okay, you do so well in convent that you end up in Yale, and then after Yale, you went Oxford. You don't understand what Ivy League is and what Oxford is. Oxford, then for write the dictionary. The dictionary we read in that college it come from. So when you look at her accomplishments and stuff, it looks like a very prescribed life on paper. It looked like very straight parents who strict and say you have to do this, and you go to school and you do well, and then you go to Ivy League schools and then you graduate from that and you become an attorney, and then you go to Oxford to become an attorney, and then your trajectory is Chief Justice, but you change your trajectory and go on Facebook and thing. And when you Google or when you look up information on her, you see acting. So I say, well, the acting, I'm trying to think, and Stacey, my wife, telling me now, yeah, she was in Westwood Park. My wife's words was, Maxine always on TV. I say, but how me see Maxine? But me never watch Westwood Park. That's the next problem I have, right? Because my attention span don't allow for me to watch Westwood Park. But how bad my attention span is, right? When I watch a new series and I watch the first episode, where they introduce it, I started to watch that 6, 7, 8, 9 times, because when I see this one on screen and that one on screen, me know which one is which and who is who. I just get confused easily. So if you put on an episode of Westwood Park for me, especially back then, me would not know when I watch Maxine and then I see Natasha Jones started to talk. I would have watching. I said, well, how Natasha Jones? She married this man. She wasn't there. And then they said, no, that was Maxine. I terrible with following series. So I never watch Westwood Park. But my wife now give me the info and she said, well, she did this. So boy has things structured. Bow. But Maxine blew my mind. Then she blew my mind again when we started to talk. Because I saw the stuff that she did here with Cotton Tree Foundation. So I said, well, I want to talk about that a little bit and thing, you know what I mean? That would be nice. But let me tell you something. When she started to talk about children and the development of children and that thing with cognitive development, you have no idea how interesting that is to me. I black out. We started talking about that and going in a deep dive into that. And I mean, I think it went well, you know what I mean? I'm trying to make sure that I myself don't fan out or nerd out too much on one particular topic, because I have plenty to talk to her about. And I know that people would be interested in her life on stage and her life, her academic life, as well as what she's been doing in corporate world or in Facebook or Meta. So I say, all right, we start in a nice place. But boy, when she's in cognitive development, we only know my script going. So we started to talk about that. Then she bring up her work in prisons and jail and she connected to, well, boy, that is it. End of story. End of episode done. Like all I want to talk about now. That's all I want. Because again, it may seem as though the idea is to document and archive some of our greats and legends and icons, and it is. But a part of the reason that I doing that is because I want little children. We living in a society now where youths seem to have, let me say, less hope and less options than we would have had when we was growing up. Where I can be this, or I will be this, or I saw this person do this and I want to be that. It's a common story here, and it does not matter who the person is that I bring here, what world they're in, whether there's musician, there's artist, there's producer. Mevon spent a whole 2 hours. Every time I ask Mevon something, Mevon say, I was just doing what I love. So I want people to listen to Mevon. Beyond all the talk and thing about the icons and documenting it, that's critical to me, right? But a big part of why I'm doing this is because I want, and my son here, he always by my side with the episodes, you know what I mean? He getting to hear some of this. Youths could hear some of this too. And I ain't worried about him. Or if you're listening to this, I might be worried about your child necessarily, because some of your children will hear these messages from you and you will put them in these spaces and the places where they could understand these messages, even if they never hear from a Mevon or a Maxine or a Tika. They may, or Lou. They might never hear or meet them directly, but the messages that come through them. I want you to listen to something when we interview people, right? Listen to how these people talk about their school teachers. You go back and listen to it. From Kenny Phillips, people all different background, all different ages. Listen to Joanna Chakari. Listen to how she talks about the icons in the society, what Bugsy meant to her. That's all I'm trying to do, you know. If there's some space they could come and they could hear nice things and they could hear all things and accomplishments, but they could hear Maxine say, was it worse that could happen? Listen, Maxine watching me in my face saying, was it worse that could happen? In the same way that she say it to people, and she talking to herself. Was it worse that could happen? So suppose we could create a society where every little child who on the fringes and the loudest voice they have in their head, or the loudest message they get in, is to go down this road. You hear when Junior Lee say, I had a choice. I could have go down this road, or I could have go down that road. And I choose this. So let me say what is that road, whatever that road means to you, right? They have thousands of children in this country who the biggest voice they hear in their mind every day, or the biggest obstacle, not obstacle, but the biggest option they have is a voice telling them that way is the way. Because here you go get through, you go be respected, you go have money, you go this, you go that, whatever it is. And they're not living in the households or living in the communities where the voices that telling you this loud enough. So we had to create the voices that telling them this. We living in the same society. You know, Maxine say randomly, I work in the Cotton Tree Foundation. I want to contribute to get children. And says, I don't have a child that live in here, but I like here. Them is the messages I'm hoping that people getting in these episodes. And I'll say that Maxine again, just like Lou, them had 2 common threads with 2 of them. And I could see why she listening to his episode, because the way Maxine uses words is penetrates everything else, you know. Or the way she doesn't use words sometimes. When you say she gets silent, it is precise. It is directed. She's not guessing around words, is what I'm trying to say. She's not fumbling with words. She's saying exactly what she wants to say. And I had to get comfortable with clips of people like Maxine or Lou, where people, if you choose to misinterpret what she says, it's up to you, but they are not, they're saying exactly what they want to say. The way she uses words is something to behold. But the point I'm making is this. If people could listen to those things, those parts of what she said and the way she approached things, and it's like, I go in the cricket club. And she, I go in a cricket club and they tell me, well, boys can't join. I say, all right, cool, yeah. All right, no problem. No problem. I'll go play. Well, yeah, that football, I could join that. Maxine say, her response, it was so pointed, it's like, but that's stupid. Suppose I might be the best cricket player. And now the way West Indies going, I'm so sorry they didn't let Maxine in the damn thing. She could at least make a 25. I doubt I doubt the whole side would make 27 if Maxine was on the side. We even in some trouble, you know. But you understand the point I'm making? Those are the things that would stand out. So when we get into it and we start discussing those types of issues with the development of children and people being them two topics so close to my heart that again I black out with things. And when I left the room, I say, boy, we have a great interview. I'm happy that, you know, I have Maxine here. She's appeared on the podcast. She's documented. You know, any little child could see that and say, well, all right, because all ain't go see it and take inspiration. But if one see it and take a little inspiration, I feel we do good. And I left, you know, I felt good when I left. And I've learned over the time doing this, I say, you know what I need to stop doing is being so hard on myself, because what has happened every single time is that I just finish the episode, go home, open back my notes where, you know, my nice little neat structure. When I say, I go ask this and she go say that and that. And I say, cool, I forget this. I talk about, yeah. And I start to feel depressed immediately when I reach home. And, you know, it's be fine. You know what I mean? I need to stop doing that. So I don't really check. When I check Maxine on, we never talk about Westwood Park. I never get to that. Because I now forget that I am hosting the podcast and I sit down there like a listener. I say, oh, good. I say, so you reach Yale. I say, oh, good. I say, oh, good. How you reach Facebook? I forget I supposed to be conducting this thing. I start to be the entertained and forget I was the entertainer. You know what I mean? So I send her a message. I say, Maxine, here, this was real good. Thank you. Which I would you typically do with everybody that come. I say, thanks so much. You know, it was good. It was really good. We have a special episode. I say, but here, girl, one thing, you know, we didn't talk about. And I had in my notes a picture with Maxine and Lutalo Masimba, you know him, a great friend of Karega Mandela, Brother Resistance. We're seeing a young Maxine and a young Resistance stand up. It is a hell of a contrast when you watch the photo. He's so tall. Hey, listen, it's a hell of a photo. Powerful. I say, girl, we didn't talk about this. Maxine say, here, that is an important part of my life. We can't put that out without that. I say, oh, God. She said we could do a phone call and thing. What Maxine know is, me know how to put no phone call in no episode. I guessing like hell. I don't know how to do this. No, I in trouble. And I want to tell you, if you enjoyed that Maxine episode, it just so happened that in talking to her, she was going to be back here, and she came back. And of course, she know a lot about production and what to do. So she was like, you want to just wear the same thing and come back? Because I suppose Westwood Park, if you had to film in 2 days, you have to remember to do this, do that. Well, look at me in trouble now. Me can't remember what, where. I don't know what to say. I said, what? And my wife is like, well, why don't you just watch back the video and they have video and photos and them can't say? I'm not a young man, you know. I'm not a young man. And I'm new to all this, brand new. And gratefully we get it done and we think I had to make sure now I trim. I had to watch now where I don't know watch up. We set back up the table, salute to everybody at Affordable Imports and we make it work. I have not had anybody say, hey, I realize nobody said it. I was one day and I was telling her, I said, girl, I know how I do this. I know if I was the best at this, but it ain't looking too bad. And you know, nobody said, hey, I could see only change clothes, it was as smooth as it could get. But again, very, very grateful to Maxine. It was to me, one of these, you know, all the damn episodes will be special to me. But that one was special. Is a lot. Maxine cover a lot. And, you know, because so much of what you knew about Maxine in the public space as an onlooker was about that DEI position in Facebook and her stance on DEI. And when we learn a little bit about her, right, is really more than just diversity. Is a stance on injustice, really, yeah, or stupidity, as she liked to say, you know. And it teach me a lesson too. The reaction, the response to that episode, it taught me a lesson because, I mean, there are some people who listening to me a long time and people enjoy the episodes and, you know, people might watch this one or that one or whoever's a favorite entertainer or whatever it might be. But I was looking at the response on her episode and the amount of women who said that, including my wife, who said they were inspired. Like when I talked to Maxine, I could conquer anything. I could do this. That she's so amazing. You look at the response to it, and you know that it taught me a lesson too about being more conscious or more deliberate or more intentional about the level of representation of different groups on this podcast. You live and learn, you know. Because sometimes you're just living your life and I'm trying to do this and I'm trying to call this one, I message that one. So now I pay a lot of attention to who come in and who come in when and who come in next and so on. You know what I mean? So salute to Maxine. I appreciated that for that episode. I wonder, only feel as much as this is a episode, because we had to get back to the thing, you know, we celebrating Maxine, we celebrating the accomplishments, but we must never forget that we come here today and this emancipation, you know, and you know, Maxine say something in that thing is so powerful. Maxine say, if you keep people enslaved for so much years, what did we miss out on in terms of their contribution? So what better day than Emancipation Day to celebrate that?
Some catch hell, so the wicked and the wicked ways must go. For the things that they do, I pity the show. The time of righteousness is that hand come together. Work with Jaja plan. Jah say in harmony we must live. I think it's important that we should give. So give me some more love tonight. Give me some more to make it right. Give me some more. Give me some more. Give me some more unity. Give me some more loyalty. Rapso time we sing, yeah, yeah, yo, yeah, yeah, yo, yeah, yeah, yo, yeah, yeah, yo.
Voice of the great Karega Mandela, you know what I mean? Name of the tune is Give Me Some More. That's the next thing they used to tell me all the time, you know. I used to talk about song, and I don't ever say who sing the song. All of them is Karega, right? You think Karega will forgive me? Because that picture of Maxine and Brother Resistance, great friend of Karega Mandela as well. You think Karega go vex me if I play one of the bedroom tune in the episode, boy?
Ring the bell, ring the bell. Ring the bell down there. Ring the bell, ring the bell. Ring the bell down there. Ring the bell for justice. Ring the bell down there. Ring the bell for culture. Ring the bell down there. Ring the bell for freedom. Ring the bell down there. I said to ring up the bell for the Rapso rhythm. Ring the bell down there. Bring it all over. Bring it all over. Bring it all over. Bring it all over. Hey. Come on, brother leader. Look, it's high time that you summon up the power. This time, boss it in the air bell. Well, look, I have a story to tell. Well, it's a long time now we fighting for freedom. Victory bound to come. Assemble the people, we sight of the mission. Let me rock the Rapso rhythm. Oh, I ring the bell, ring the bell. Ring the bell down there. Ring the bell, ring the bell. Ring the bell down there. Ring the bell for justice. Ring the bell down there. Ring the bell for culture. Ring the bell down there. Ring the bell for freedom. Ring the bell down there. I said to ring up the bell for the Rapso rhythm. Ring the bell down there. Ring it all over. Ring it all over. Ring it all over. Ring it all over. Hey. So listen well, I come to deliver this word. Let the voice of the dung press be heard over the world. Let the people's story be told. Well, it's a long time now we come out for action. Glory days come down. I come with my bell just a second. The motion rock the Rapso rhythm.
Ring the bell. Not the kind of tune you could cut off. I hope our Karega don't vex with me. I'm squeezing on your bread and tune. Yes, it's Maxine's fault. When you see, if you vex, blame Maxine Williams, right? Well, before I get on to the next episode, right, I want to talk a little bit about Junior Lee and how important that episode was in terms of my mission and what it is we doing, right? But before I get to that, right, I want to say on this Emancipation Day that I have a mother there, right, who, when it comes to the amount of clothes, and you see, I'm wise enough and I've been living long enough to know to talk about certain genders and their attire, you know. Like I sit down here with Maxine the whole time and I didn't even know it's a mental print she have on his shirt or something. I'm wise enough not to say anything when it comes to women and their attire. But I will say that when it comes to my mother, she does have way too much African outfit. It's an unhealthy addiction to African outfit. Let me put it like that, right? It's a lot. It don't matter what cupboard you go in the house. That's about what Africa are you from? What Africa? Where you come in? You know what I mean? And one of the places that I see her go over the years, like I know she's had friends who went to Ghana before, went to different parts of Africa. She makes sure she buy something from over there and thing from the motherland and so on. But beyond having to wear too much African clothes, she spends way too much time, more time than any one human should spend at Prindella's fashion, right? So I want to say it's a salute, a special salute to Carol Prince Mandela, you know what I mean? By Prindella's fashion. I don't know if I wonder if Carol went to open my house home by my mother, you know what I mean? I wonder how that is going. You think she willing to come down the road and open my branch? She could, at this point, she should be able to buy a franchise at the rate we're going, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And let me tell you, she don't do 6:30, she don't live she life to party. But every now and then, she loves to have a time. She's a classy lady, the kind I want around me. She set the trend, so I had to make her mind. Don't feel no disrespect, but I feel we should connect. I'm willing to take my time to know you, woman. I know you are the one, so lady, what we gonna do? Cause I really check for you. The way how you move so mesmerizing, and your smile just like the sun. This lady, she driving me crazy. The way how she moving in the party, look, they just one thing on your mind. I tell you this woman, she got my attention. The way how she's so sweet, look, I had to make her mine. She no flighty, so you best approach her right here. The way how she moving, you can tell she got her own. She don't need your money, so don't approach her funny. And if you're out of timing, you best leave her alone. Don't feel no disrespect, but I feel we should connect. I'm willing to take my time to know you, woman. I know you are the one, so lady, what we gonna do? Cause I really check for you.
Yes.
The way how you move so mesmerizing, and your smile just like the sun. This lady, she driving me crazy. The way how she moving in the party, look, it's just one thing on my mind. This woman, she got my attention. The way how she's so sweet, look, I had to make her mine. She no flighty, so you best approach her right here. The way how she moving, you can tell she got her own. She don't need your money, so don't approach her funny. And if you're out of timing, you best leave her alone. I don't mean no disrespect, but I feel we should connect. I'm willing to take my time to know you, woman. I know you are the one, so lady, what we gonna do? Cause I really check for you.
I tell you, Lou Lion say it, you know, you make it a point to say the wives of entertainers are so important. He say, wife buy me first guitar. Listen, under all the other old talk and they laugh and we always talk about the music and the people listen. These are the kind of messages that are hoping people get, particularly youth, right? If you're my age and you're listening to this, to tell you the truth, your ship sailing. Your ship sail. Youth is who we are trying to connect with. So again, very, very important to me to connect with somebody like Junior Lee. Let me tell you this story about how that happened, right? There's a long story to it. And we go, you know, Karega go be in between this. So saddle up, right? Buckle up. Extinguish your cigarettes. Touch nothing but your drinking glasses. Put your seat in the upright position. Throw your hand baggage. You know, all the things go. So, within my fastness again, I'm putting out episodes, everything going good. I like any traction, I like any feedback. I'm starting to reach a point now where because in the beginning of the year, his friends and family, right? Because Mr. Shaq is a friend of the show, first guest I ever had. First Calypsonian, you know, anybody who of notoriety, but not family, who I had on the show. Umari Ashby as a friend of the show, always willing to say an encouraging word. Let me tell you something about these fellas, these gentlemen, right? People like Umari and Shaq and these fellas. And Ozzy is another one who turned out to be like that too. You just work, and you're trying to do something and you're trying to figure something out. And you don't hear nothing from these fellas, right? You don't know if they still listen, if they still, you don't know, right? And let me tell you some of them men and them were so important, right? And now find out me and Mr. Shaq is the same age, right? I thought this man level of wisdom and knowledge and understanding. I tell myself that I was telling Junior, he in a life before, Mr. Shaq was definitely in a life before. But let me tell you something. Them two men in particular, well, Ozzy being the third one. When they might be watching what you're doing, they're taking it in, you know, episodes come, episodes go, you can't watch all, you know, some people like men busy. But you see, when something great happen, you're sure to hear, hey, brother, you see what you're doing there is a good job. Umari sent my voice, no, they say, brother, let me tell you something. He say, you find your calling. He say, I leaving to go to work this morning. And I had to sit back down and take in that thing 2 hours. This is a man who busy here. This is a man who done accomplish a lot and doing a PhD. And he take a minute out of that PhD to tell me, hey, you see what you're doing now? You have to find a way to do that. He say, I say, you know, all that to say, you have to find a way to make money. He said, because you can't take the amount of time out of your work you're taking. And this thing, he said, that had to pay for itself because it had to live on. You're doing a good work. Same thing with Shaq. Shaq just reach out and say, brother, you see this one, that, and he go tell me, you know what I mean? And them men is always, when something great or they see something happen that it's special, it's out of the ordinary, they go reach out. And another time, in a very subtle way, they just reach out when you see tongue burning down and the comment section going crazy. And they just always find a way to send a little message saying, boy, just like old Lou say, hey, you good over there? Them two men, Ozzy's a character. Ozzy's a man. I don't get a whole episode about Ozzy Merrick, right? Ozzy's something else. But they always reaching out and saying, hey, bam, this, looking good. Don't worry about that. And they don't talk about whatever this situation is. They just think, boy, you're good. Or you're saying, and make sure that somebody there and balance it out. So that's something I also appreciate. So again, in starting off the year, especially because archiving is part of the mission, you know, the people that we get, who I'd be shocked every time somebody say yes, and most of the times people don't answer, and then the ones who answer say, yeah, well, maybe, nobody don't do that. And it reached a turning point now where it's not a problem, you know, people come in. I not expecting, I tell Mevon this all the time, I say, Mevon, I don't know if, you know, young people like yourself, when I say young, the men happening now, right? The men might see that and say, you know, them fellas, you know what I mean, them watching me, a old man, they say, boy, what is old man doing, talking. I try, you know, a little nervous to reach out to the men who current, you know, and I know the men who current very, very busy. And the men who current, the time is expensive. The time ain't cheap, you know? So I'm a little hang-ups and reaching out to some of them and them kind of thing, but again, it's the Maxine effect, you know, don't like nothing I'm doing. So imagine my surprise now when I come home a day and I see a friend request. Jervale Limo. That's generally real name, Zachary. Jervale Limo. Jervale Junior Limo. Friend request. So I say, nah, that's something like a prank. Because, again, as a genuine fan of Junior Lee, I find this youth is ridiculously, like, remarkably funny. He's something else. So when I see the friend request, I say, well, all right, what's going on here? I take the friend request, and he didn't just friend request, you know, he share a video of something. I can't remember what video it was. He share it. I said, don't share my thing. Don't share my thing. Same thing happened with Mevon, you know. Me and I no idea them fellas is listening because I hear Keegs here and Mevon name come up. I see Mevon sharing thing in his stories saying, boy, listening. And I said, don't share. We come in. So I message him. I say, boy, brother, thanks for the share. Thanks for that. I appreciate it. Again, let me talk social media for a minute, right? When the icons and thing, let me use David Rudder, Colin Lucas, them fellas as example, Mari, Ozzy, Shaq. Them fellas and them out here a long time doing it. Shaq out here the same time as me, but they you know, veterans in the respective game, you know, and it's very, very important to me to have those conversations, because some of them, in the cases of Rudder, let me use Rudder and Colin as examples, they were a big part of my childhood. Like, their music and the things they do was shaping my primary school and secondary school years, and even maybe some of my early fetting days. Like, I talking to Eddie Charles, I sweating, me. I remembering, I used to be in front of the stage when Eddie performing. So that will always have a special place in my heart. But let me tell you something. You see young people current today and on social media and stuff, the amount of reach that they have, which is amazing to see. I was so happy to hear Junior Lee talk about promoting his own shows. And again, so much of kicks and so much of old talk and thing in the episode. Like, I hope that people hearing some of that. This boy is 28 years old. This young man, I should say. I'm not a boy, nobody out there. But this youth is 28 years old. Buy him mother a house at 27. Promoting his own shows. I asked that man, I said, the promoter him. What promoter? Like, he's so ridiculously funny and talented, but also so strong-willed and business-minded and ambitious and motivated and driven. I'm hoping that people don't miss them parts of the episode where you could see the real person, you know what I mean? He's a phenom when you look at the things he's accomplishing in this life and the way he looks at it. And even some of the things he said off here, but the way he looks at some of the icons who would have come before him in comedy, the way he sees stand-up comedy, the way he approach it, that is... These fellas need to be documented. Me, I talk about no podcast recording now. I talk about in the university. We can have a university at Trinidad and Tobago, a university at the West Indies, where people like him not documented in these spaces. I remember, I never used to like, maybe I don't understand it, right? But I always remember that in UWI Library had a place called West Indiana. And I got the impression, and I'm probably wrong about this, right? But they used to have a set of papers and them things written in there. But I always remember getting the impression, maybe because it song to me, I interpret it as West Indies. It feel like if they relegate we works that part of the library. And I don't like that. The most important things that youths could learn now, we as adults could learn now, cognitive development. We have to learn from the people who actually doing it and doing it at a high level. And what we see of them today is not, 10 years from now, they're going to be, or let me say 50 years from now, some youth man who have some kind of ambition or the things that I want to do go be begging Junior Lee to come in, please, sir, please come and do an episode. And they get a little good. They want to come in and them fellas and them they say, nah, I ain't coming in the studio. And they go, why I must come in the studio? What we think? 2 hours, you know how much of that I get? But somebody could be doing that with them to come and document, because their lives would be so interesting and they're shaping the lives of these youths and them who they are now. For these, we need to get them fellas stories. But I'm frightened to reach out to because that old man, no, me want an old man, all them fellas, and me want to do nothing again their way. But don't like my thing, don't share nothing. And that man say, yeah, brother, I like your content. Anytime you're ready. I say, anytime I'm ready. What you doing Tuesday morning, 10 hours, what you doing? What you for? You're available? You're free? And that man say, yes. I shocked. That man say, yeah, you go come and you do it and thing. Foolishly, I booked the wrong time. I called Conrad and I said, boy, we have one, I went on the website and I put 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. instead of 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. like a buffoon. Because too much thing going on. Because when I preparing to record this, because I had to do my research, then I editing this episode because this out now. And I had to put clips because I had to promote this one. And then I trying to figure out who to book for the next thing so that we can run dry on Monday morning. So too much going on. Salute to David West. Thank God David West come on board and help me with some of this. It's a nightmare, Just I couldn't expect that it would be this so many moving parts, So now I feeling bad because this man, he don't need me, right? Let me put it out there. He don't need to come on this. He don't do none of that. As far as I'm concerned, just like everybody else who come here, he doing me a favor. As far as I'm concerned, he come in and he thing, and I was like, boy, now I had to call this man after 7 morning. I don't know, like to call people and think, I say, oh God, but I do the wrong. A message. I say, brother, hey, what's going on? I booked the wrong time. And I confirmed with him the day before, I say, yo, bro, blah, 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 blah. He say, yeah, good, 10, we good, right? I say, yeah, 10. When I watch his 8 o'clock in the morning, so I said, let me try a last ditch thing to see if I know he was doing morning radio and thing on boom. So I said, just in case, maybe he could do 8, I would do it. And if not, I would just cancel it. But that man say, yeah, bro, 8, that ain't happening. That's really in the morning. Hard luck, bro. Yeah, I say, yeah, sorry about that. I would think, what is ghost tongue? Boy, a message, I think, boy, that man decide, you see the last part of that thing where he say, I was going ducky, That is very real. Very, very real. One of the realest parts of the interview is where you say, boy, I was going to duck you. I don't think he was going to come and do it. Again, salute to David Wales. David have a level of stick-to-itiveness, you know what I mean? A little stick-to-itiveness that is very, very, very impressive. So David called him and we get back on track and he came and do it and stuff. And that was more than I could ever bargain for because, again, just is similar to Maxine, you know? You see some things about the public life and you assume something, and you try to figure out, all right, well, how this will go? But boy, you know, them notice how to go the door fast because when this youth start to talk, you start to realize in talking to him that there's a level of hilarity that is unmatched, right? He is witty, he's funny, he completely tuned into everything they're saying. And it could have ended up being a laugh fest. It could have ended up one of them things where we just laugh and kaka for 2 hours and get no information. It is very difficult, I'll say, right? to keep on track when he are wrong. And maybe it's just because of how big a fan of him I am. But it is just so funny, his outbursts. And you know what's funny? In the edits, I know hearing all kind of things he was saying that I miss completely. I didn't hear it at all by the table. Sometimes I just laughing at something else. And boy, I could see it. You see, he's a genuine and a true comedian because, you see, just how I telling you, don't share my thing and don't like my thing, he letting you know, don't laugh. Don't laugh. From the time he get a laugh, a light is go up on that man's face. And he going to go again and again. If you don't get yourself back together again, that whole interview done. But beyond that, and what he is and what he's done, and his skits and talking about his life, beyond that, there's a level of depth to that youth that is admirable. I look up to him a lot. I done like him already before the thing, but no, I have a level of admiration for him. I just want to see him do. You know how much people message me to just tell me, hey, I hope he do great in life. Frank herself, sorry Frank, I'm putting you out there a lot. Just to say, hey, I hope he do great. I hope he continue to think and continue to develop and think. People, you can see people genuinely glad for him. People backing him. And I think that's an important thing for us to see. And when I say us, I mean the younger versions of ourselves that grew up in the place that we grew up. And you know, all the places where we grew up, like where I said, grew up in St. James, and you go back there and say, but St. James changed so much. You know, the place, I could walk anywhere. What's I could talk about Belmont then versus Belmont now? Although she says she walking and go anywhere still. But all of us have that story is similar. Anywhere you come from, you could see how the place has changed. So it's important for people like him, and I'm eternally grateful to people like him, Maxine, all of them to come out, or with the youths in particular. Maxine is a youth, right? But, you know, Junior Lee or Mevon and them, it's so important that they would take their time to come and sit down with this old man to share a little story and take in my not funny sense of humor at all. So just to talk, because hopefully one of these little youths and them who watching Junior Lee, the way I used to watch Sprang Along. I remember where I was when I meet Sprang Along in real life the first time. I remember where I was when I first meet Rachel Price. I was a big man. I had to cool myself, you know. I had to put away my groupie, you know. I had to wrap my groupie. My groupie started to come out of my britches. I had to say, hey, settle down. There's a person. Settle down. You know what I mean? I know where I was. I grew up a street from when Nicky Crosby and them had Crosby's. We used to go Crosby's every day. You know what I mean? So when we were able to see them, or Tommy Joseph or Larry Joseph, like I was trying to say that my sister tell me how I tell Junior Lee he ugly. I didn't say that. He's making laugh so much that he lose some things. What I was trying to say is that two people who I've seen who from the time you see them you just start to laugh is Larry Joseph and Oliver. And I was trying to say he is one of them people, but he said yeah because I'm ugly, and you know what I mean? But Larry Joseph used to come into Park Street in Port of Spain. I was working in Park Street at the time. And I was telling somebody recently that it have 3 personalities I see in particular, or maybe 4, who used to come into the public office in Park Street. You had to understand is like going to pay, them days you had to go in a place to pay a phone bill, right? Youngsters, you know what I mean? The ones who are young, you had to go into a building, right? And everybody used to go because it had no other option. You couldn't pay it in the bank, you couldn't pay it online. So Mountain, I work in TSTT. The place is packed with people. The line long, all the staff overwhelmed, frustrated. The people who come to pay the bill, all the clients, customers, they're frustrated. It's not a nice place, the public office. It is get rough on a Mountain. And you go always have an employee who will take 2 sick leave on the Mountain too, you know what I mean? And never show up for work. So it's more pressure on the ones who are there. And the public office could be empty the rest of the month. You don't see like a whole lot of people. It's a nice little place to work, but month end, it's easy. And you see when pensioners get their money, it's all hell break loose. And I saw some personalities come into that office, and as they opened the door, you felt the presence. You see Twiggy? Same Twiggy who always talking about the election, Twiggy is one of them. Who used to come in there, and when she talks, listen, light up the place. She just have her energy and her voice and the way she projected, and the acoustics in the public office was great. So your voice staying, your voice shaking up the whole building. And boy, Twiggy was one of them. The other one is a man by the name of Kelvin Pope. You know him? Go and Google Kelvin Pope now. A fellow named Duke. And Duke wasn't loud. He was very manly, very, very respectful. I want to say like the antithesis to Twiggy. I can say that. Almost the opposite. But the way Duke used to dress and the cologne he used to wear and how tall he was regal. I have never seen Duke in a short pants and a slipper like myself. I've never seen it. He used to come and pay his bill every month. And he was well dressed. Jewelry, smelling good. He greet everybody, shake their hand. He had an enormous presence. So he's a man used to take long to come in the door because it's just so much people who there want to greet him. And All-Rounder was another one of them. You see, All-Rounder and the Hendrickson sisters, when them come in, the vibe and the energy and they have a loudness. Everything them do is like an act. And when they come in, but Larry Joseph was one of them too. Larry used to come in there crying, playing like he crying. Because he going on tour, just like what Junior Lee just do. Congratulations to Junior Lee. Selling out the venues in Canada. By now, Grenada and Barbados are sure they can sell out too if they ain't sold out yet. But Larry Joseph used to do that. Larry Joseph used to do his own shows. He used to take money out of his pocket, invest in it, do his shows and tour. And he, when you saw Larry coming in, playing, he crying, it's because Larry saying, oh God, I cut my phone. He gone on tour for 3 months, you know. He ain't pay phone bill in advance. So he phone cut. And what he hoping is that when he on 3 months in tour, he could come home and check. They used to have this device called an answering machine, right? He check his answering machine now, and he have booked dates so that he could go for the next 3 months, but he phone cut, so he missing out on all the bookings. So I was telling you that Junili is like that, you know, he's just so naturally funny. But when you look at the level of depth, the way he talks about his mother, you hear much times he says, and he not joking when he says, watch his whole demeanor always change. He said, my mother meant so much to me, and she support me, and them is important messages. I was hoping people get those types of messages. Also, his definition of success stood out to me in the interview a lot. He's not defining success by any numbers on social media or any fame that he might see on the streets. He's defining success by his ability to follow his passion and to take care of his family. And I already knew through his comedy that he was wise beyond his years, that he from an earlier life. He was here before. I always knew that. But when you talk to him a little bit, you're hearing that the depth is not just about his comedy or his craft. The depth has a lot to do with the way he sees life, and he's a level of wisdom that, I mean, it's still taking me time to develop that level of wisdom that he has. So I appreciated that. I'm happy that people enjoying the episode. And another takeaway I find that I'm hoping people get is the overnight success thing. Especially with social media, I was so appreciative for the way he handled that question. Aaron, we're going to go real over time, yeah? So I'll go in until they put them out. Zachary put on 142.15 for me. Yeah, I think so. I'll finish closer to 1. Oh, this episode is long here. You write it down for me, Zach? Oh? You want to come in? Just not. No. You want to say what you have to say still, or you don't want to do it? Yeah, I think you should. I'll call you, right? Yeah, so the other thing, that idea that you could get through in life and you create this page and the page get real likes and real follows and them kind of thing. When he talked to you about how much years he doing and how funny it was when he say he making videos and ducking school, and then men ask him, well, why ain't come to school? Come to school, you know what I mean? It'd be nice to see you after you make all them videos. This man's 28 years old and in the business for 15, 20 years. He's been doing it for a long, long time. So again, if hopefully people could take messages like those and see that different option in life where you could still do this, and you could do bother with that, because that is not a place we want to be. That is not a society we want to live in. This avenue is difficult. Everybody who's come here has talked about how difficult it was. They try this, they try that, they do this, they do that. You call Lucas talk about what it took for him to be able to manage his time between being an entertainer in tights in the night and being a CEO in a suit in the morning. It's hard. This difficult. Generally talking about getting boo in bar and thing. I can't imagine. I don't know why he do that. Like that is fascinating to me. Like why would you do that? And it takes me back to something Maxine keeps saying. Like it's like what's the worst could happen? What's the worst could happen if you choose this route? And we continue to make Trinidad and Tobago a better society rather than taking that route where that's all you see and that's all you accomplish. So I'm happy that people took it in and so far with the feedback, people getting the messages that I want to get them to get. But I have a fella here, I want to see what the messages he get. Come, producer. Long time you ain't come on camera. Let's sing your foot by Conrad and them mad daddy. Mad though? Hey, come in. Just up in your full suit of black and all them kind of thing. Then don't get small. Let me hear what you get from the episode.
I get a real thing from that
First, you have
episode.
to introduce yourself.
Well, I think they should know who I am already.
You think you're some kind of star? What you mean nobody don't know who you is? You think they know who you are?
Yeah, for sure.
Say what's your name, sir?
I am the producer of this podcast, Zachary Shepherd.
Go ahead.
I produce this whole thing. I make this
Go
whole
ahead
thing.
with what Junior Lee tell you, please. What he say? What stood out to you? What you make? What?
He is a very, very funny man.
Mm-hmm.
He's real funny.
You think he funnier in person than in the skits and all that?
I think he equally funny.
Yeah.
For sure.
So what's the messages you get from it? What was the funniest part for you?
Funniest part was when he talk about how he lied to the teacher to get out of school.
Do you plan to do that?
I plan to do that for sure.
All right, bust your kite right out. You think, oh, come. What else? What in terms of his work ethic, his thing, what's the other positive things you get from it? I don't know how funny it was. Anything?
That he didn't give up. He kept working when it got tougher.
Okay. So you plan to do that?
Maybe.
Yeah, well, as producer, the show keep working now when it gets tougher because you ain't getting a cent.
What?
You ain't getting paid.
Wow.
We're working for naught. You hear how much people come here and say that they was working. You just do it, you know. Maxine said she went to Haiti. She didn't even know what she was going to do. So that's you. You come here, you ain't know a cent, you will get paid. It's a rough life.
I have to get paid. I just want to. I have to get paid for this.
Like, bust your kite. That's all you want to say or you're good?
That's all I want to say.
All right, right.
Happy Emancipation Day to the people.
Nobody can ask you to say that.
I know. I wanted to say that because I run
What
the
date
show
is Emancipation Day?
today.
Bust your
I
kites.
run-
Bust your kites. You don't even know when it's Emancipation. And you're right. That fella's absolutely running the show. Absolutely running the show. So if we could do a little part to make sure that all of us had to do it. We had to help each other to make the voices that we hearing as a country a little louder than the voices that some youths mightn't be hearing at home, or they might be, the voices on the corner. Like I following an issue closely here, right? Well, once again, I think last time I recorded we was in a SOE by myself, and now we take a big go SOE, bam, election, back into SOE. And even when you hear they talk about crime, I mean, I like the initiative where we have, I think, now Homeland Security versus Foreign Land Security or something. So me, know the ministry and them name. But at least we taking a different approach to it, I hope. But a SOE talking about these things. I was watching this thing where a lawyer talking about having to blindfold to go and see clients and all them things. The country not in a good space. It's not a good space when a SOE means business as normal. I'm not sure if we're paying attention to that. If a SOE is not creating a certain level of tension in a society, it means that we're in a permanent state of emergency. It is something that we have to pay attention to as society. I like how these youths now on TikTok is saying nobody ain't coming to save you. We had to operate now like it's no government. You see that government thing where the government go do this and the government go do that. I'm glad for some of the policy changes that I seeing a kind of bickering happening now between our ex-police in Alexander and our ex-commissioner in this one, and the new commissioner have a wait is a punisher thing on the hand, and I'm not sure where's the clear direction of what will have us in a society where we do have these kind of issues we have from a criminal standpoint, you know. But Like I just always say, I've always been saying, and people will always tell you by calypsos or stories are told, but by Rapsos, we stories told too, you know.
Crimes are on the upride.
Plenty security, but no security. 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 Plenty security. Plenty. Anywhere I walk, anyhow I spin. Security talk blowing in the wind. If it have enough security in the land, and if they really have a plan. From high prices,
No security.
from dishonest politicians,
No security.
still plenty security, but no security. Plenty security, but no security. No. Plenty security, but no security. Plenty security.
Plenty.
Check them security officers. Who they playing rough and ready? Who they playing cool and irie? Who they pipsing on the heavy disguise? Who they deep in corruption and don't sell the soul? For the unemployed,
No security.
for the homeless, no security. Plenty security, but no security. Plenty security, but no security.
You can't go wrong in that telling Rapso. If you calypso telling me stories, Rapso telling me stories too, you know, you can't go wrong. Only Conrad and them ready to come out here, you know, I had to come out here just now, but I can't leave without playing certain tune, right? That certain tune. And I want to take in something, right? Let me tell you something. Long story, less long. I tell you, I went and taking Trick and all down in the Kaiso Blues the other night, right? Salute to Ozzy and them, they bring Trick and in the Jam Bram, right? Jamming in the junction. And when you hear them fellas on them style, how their words so pointed, the words so heavy, they're so direct, them and them have a way of putting words together, right? And coming at you. Like one of the tunes I play with Daddy and them a lot, right? I wonder if Karega and them go vex Carol, they don't vex with me if I put a little trick and all in all the episode, you know, but we play something. Da 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 da. You know that tune with Tricana? The words in that song, they're so aggressive. It's one of the more aggressive tune you ever hear. I know where they come up with that vibes for the tune, and the whole energy inside Kaiso Blues lift up when they play it, because the song say, promise the fire next time. We promise the fire next time. We promise the fire next time. And who ain't there, they badly wounded. You know it? And they say, talk, you mocking pretender. I take your lyrics and I come to test you far too long. You're fooling the children, fooling the head with brainwash education. Doomsday, time to retreat, and then come in to mash up the street. Power the world in the Rapso styling. So that song is so aggressive with everything. They say, talk. Everything they do aggressive like hell in the studio. I'd be frightened if I was in the studio and they playing that tune, right? But with all the aggression in the tune and all the things that he's saying, and thing at a button down and thing and politician and he's a liar and this all kind of thing they tell people in the tune, you know. It's a turning talk, it's a turning walk and all. But then they soften it up and they say, da 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 da. You see how they soften it up in the middle there? Pause, that ain't song that talk about soften it up in the middle. I talk all kind of honeymoon talk. But the way they soften the tune with such an aggressive tune. When I listen to Karega, right, it hard, and I mean, one day we go talk to the gentleman of Trick and all, you know what I mean? But it hard for me to think that a lot of inspiration of the way Trick and all used to put together rap so would not come from Karega, right? Because Karega's voice is something to behold in Rapso. Think of what Rapso is, right? Omari tell you about it and think in terms of the way I'm talking, and it have a message that could come through Rapso that I feel wouldn't come from the regular Kaiso and Soca and Calypso, you know what I mean? And or the wine and jam. It have a vibe or energy that is come through Rapso that is uniquely Rapso. But in that Rapso space, you hear a lot of men like rappers, right? And talking the tune and thing, which is important. Like that tune I now play with Plenty Security, But no security. Yeah, you talk that kind of spoken word vibe and energy inside it. But Karega voice have a melodiousness that when you hear it and you hear the way, even when he talking or you rapping or you hitting your rap, so it have a melodiousness going with it. You know, I used to hear him on when they used to do a rap so thing. I think it was I-95.5. When he talk, it have a melodiousness. So even more when he sing, it have a sweetness to it. And when I hear this song in particular, it is make me wonder sometime, you know what I mean? If, you know, Tricanal, it's so reminiscent of what Tricanal does. Or should I say that in the other way, what Tricanal doing so reminiscent of the way Karega used to deliver. And this tune is giving us an energy as if somebody in Tricanal, like they hear this and they say, "That's what we gonna do." My words, eh?
What kind of vibes is that? Rapso. 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 What kind of vibes is that? What kind of vibes is that? What kind of vibes is that? Rapso. What kind of vibes is that? I have a joy in me heart. I have a joy in me soul. When the Rapso music play and they touch you, man, you lose control. I have a joy in my heart. I have a joy in my soul. When the Rapso music play and they touch you, man, you lose control. This music have a vibe. It move you deep inside. It take away your blues. Fill you with joy and pride. It's magic in the moment. I embrace it. My arms open wide. The power of the wood, the rhythm of the wood, and when the drum explode, it how you feeling good. Express it in the music, we emotion like the way we should. I have a joy in me heart. I have a joy in me soul. When the Rapso music play and they touch you, man, you lose control. I have a joy in me heart. I have a joy in me soul. When the Rapso music play and they touch you, man, you lose control. This is for you and me.
What kind of vibes is that? What kind of vibes is that? What kind of vibes is that? When the Rapso music play. Let me tell you something. Tune for your money. Only tell me if I feel a song like Tricanal. And if anybody from Tricanal said it wasn't inspired by that, I just pretend I never say that. You know what I mean? I could just pretend that never happened again. Salute to the great, the legendary Karega Mandela. We had to continue to do this. You know, this is a journey we must continue. That's why I tell you the Patreon thing, because Umari says, you know, funds at a raise, right? And I have some merch. I went some merch from Omari. This is a man who inspired me a lot. You know, I fell up to about Omari in episode. He must say, hey, ears ring. But this shirt here, I see Omari print this. If you know Saga Boy culture, he talked about it when he was here. He was also adorned in his Saga Boy culture in his episode. Go and check out that, right? And Omari just talk about business and the way, you know, his approach to business and thing is something I always admire, you know what I mean? He built his own brand. Every time I talk to him, he say his son doing well, you know what I mean? And he you know, vacation time come, them youths and them looking for money. One of them here, he ain't getting a cent when, you know what I mean? It's free work, you know what I mean? It's the fruits of my labor. That's where you're getting life, and what's in the fridge is what you get from me if you come and intern on this podcast, right? Nothing else to get. But while you're married, talking about you telling your son, boy, you could draw, you have a skill, you know what I mean? So use your skill and sell it. Very important message for we to send to these youths on them. So I inspired. This shirt says, what's here again? I forget which one it does. You say, when Corey the damn well say, when you iron good, you is king. A line from one of our favorite tunes. So not by chance I have awareness on the Emancipation Day, because I have some merch coming, I have a little thing coming. And I want to tell you this, it's going to be limited edition. Me and Omari and them level up business yet. It's going to be limited edition. It's going to come 1-1. And it's going to be expensive. Because it ain't cheap to do this kind of production and thing. Only like nice place, only like Conrad and affordable imports and thing. It's affordable, but at this level of frequency, it adding up. So the merchant thing will come, I go let all you know what to do with it. And as I say, the man who tell me what bring you here wouldn't bring you there. Just remember that who bring me here, have no fear, we go sort out that and them kind of thing, right? We go sort out that, we go talk. But $5, you know what I mean, US monthly, you know what I mean? And that way we starting, so we go see where that land. But again, we had to continue to do this because on an emancipation morning like this, I take pride in doing something like this. I enjoy doing something like this because Karega might be able to hear this. Maybe Karega might fall on his ears, and hopefully, I can never do his legacy no justice. But hopefully, when he hears it, he could feel good. We must do that more often. We have to make that part of it. So for the people who enjoy the solo episodes and the talk that goes along with that, I don't want all it to feel like I give up on that. It is take a lot of time to research, as I say. It take a lot of time to deal with bookings, to deal with guests and things. Building a team, it happens a lot faster than I would have anticipated. But I don't want you to feel like I give up on the idea to come in and rock back and talk to all you. Oh, you know what? Salute to Point 14 Iron Giants, right? When you hear the opening of the episodes, what you're hearing is Point 14 Iron Giants. Salute to the Iron Giants. But you ain't go hear Iron Giants alone. You go hear Panside now and again. On the Panside go tell you that is me, solo me, or me and friends recording, you know what I mean? Separate kind of thing from the icons, legends, and so on that we would bring on a weekly basis. Salute to them. Salute to my boy Jonathan Corby too, who's the man who went and record Iron Giants and make the Panside and gracefully lend me that. So gracious and graceful. My brother is my guy. But I ain't give up on it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it, and it will come as frequently as it used to come before. But I mean, as they say, if by Kaiso all our stories are told, by Rapso his story is told, right? So a certain man tell me about that give up and that surrender thing, you know what I mean?
Never surrender, boy. Never surrender, boy. We've been oppressed for a very long time, but we never surrender, boy. Never surrender, boy. Never surrender, boy. We've been oppressed for a very long time, but we never surrender, boy. Never surrender, boy. Never surrender, boy. We've been oppressed for a very long time, but we never surrender, boy.
We've been robbed of our land. We've been robbed of our diamonds and our gold. We've been robbed of our language and our names, but never with dignity. Never surrender, boy.
Never surrender, boy. We've been oppressed for a very long time, but we never surrender, boy. Never surrender, boy. Never surrender, boy. We've been oppressed for a very long time, but we never surrender, boy.
Stand firm, stand proud, never surrender. We've been through much pressure as a people in human voyages and slavery, but here we are today, standing proud as ever, because we refuse to surrender. Never surrender, oh. Never surrender, oh. We've been oppressed for a very long time, but we never surrender, oh.
Amen. I say we love you, Karega, oi. We love you, Karega, oi. We ain't get to record for a very long time, but we love you, Karega, oi. Olio, time for me to go say, you know, before they put me out, they say you must never overstay. Welcome again to Carol Prince Mandela, Karega Mandela. Thank you for everything that you're all doing for the culture. Thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for, you know, they are playing an instrumental part in keeping emancipation. As I say, you know, the village go honor them and everything the night before emancipation, and I'm happy to have an episode we could put out on emancipation morning. Think to wake up, I don't know if always drink tea, coffee, or rum. You know, drink on the morning, no? But whatever you're drinking, taking this one and enjoy. This is for all you. Only full up my mother closet with African clothes. It can't close, you know what I mean? The hinge on them, it falling off the hinge. But again, we appreciate everything all they do and all they're doing for the culture, and we're happy to have all you here. And I go talk to all you next week, when I make the plan and I tell you what happened, I'll go hear from me soon. Bye. Right. I think we have it in exactly.
Little packing up, after the episode done, you understand? This is my job. I running this show. Matter of fact, I done packing up. I taking over this show, yes? Zachary Shepherd Podcast. You'll see.